Imagine walking along a quiet river. The water moves slowly over smooth stones. Sunlight reflects off the surface. And all around you are rocks, thousands of them. Gray rocks, brown rocks, smooth stones, broken gravel. Most people see nothing special, just rocks. But hidden among those stones, there might be something completely different. A rough diamond. Not the sparkling gemstone you see in jewelry stores. Not the bright crystal in a display case. But a raw diamond. A natural stone that still looks like it just came out of the earth. Because the truth is something many people don't realize. Before a diamond is cut and polished, it does not look like the diamonds people imagine. It often looks dull, rough, sometimes cloudy, sometimes almost like a piece of glass, and sometimes it looks like just another ordinary rock. That is why many rough diamonds have been missed. People have walked past them, stepped over them, even thrown them back into rivers, simply because they did not recognize what they were looking at. But once you understand a few key signs, once you know what to look for, those ordinary rocks begin to look very different. Suddenly the ground becomes full of possibilities, and the next stone you pick up might make you stop and look twice. Because one small detail could reveal something unexpected, something rare, something that formed deep inside the earth millions of years ago. But before we get to that moment, before you pick up that strange rock from the river, you first need to understand something important, where rough diamonds actually come from. Diamonds begin deep inside the earth. Diamonds do not form near the surface of the planet. They begin their journey deep underground, much deeper than most people imagine, far below mountains, far below rivers, in a part of the earth where pressure and heat are incredibly intense. In those extreme conditions, carbon atoms slowly arrange themselves into a crystal structure. Over millions of years, that structure becomes one of the hardest natural materials on Earth, a diamond. But even after forming, the diamond remains trapped deep underground, until something dramatic happens. Volcanic activity. Millions of years ago, powerful eruptions pushed certain rocks toward the surface. These eruptions carried diamonds inside a special type of volcanic rock. That rock is known as kimberlite. When kimberlite eruptions cooled and solidified, they formed vertical structures called kimberlite pipes. These pipes became the original source of many diamonds found today. But time changes landscapes. Wind erodes rock. Rain carries sediment. Rivers carve new paths through the land. Over thousands and millions of years, kimberlite breaks apart, and the diamonds inside it begin to travel. Some roll down hillsides, some settle in riverbeds, some hide among gravel on hiking trails. Eventually, they can appear in places where nobody expects them, which means the stones around your feet may have traveled a very long way. But knowing where diamonds come from is only the beginning, because identifying one among thousands of ordinary rocks is another challenge entirely. And this is where the first important clue appears: the shape of a rough diamond. Most ordinary rocks have irregular shapes, sharp edges, broken surfaces, random forms created by fractures. But rough diamonds often show something different. Many natural diamonds form in crystal shapes. One of the most common shapes is the octahedron. An octahedron has 8 flat sides. These sides meet in sharp, geometric angles. Even when the crystal is small, that shape can still appear. Sometimes the edges are slightly worn from travel in rivers, but the symmetry may still be visible. Another shape rough diamonds can show is called a cube-like structure. In some cases, the surface appears rounded, but subtle crystal faces remain. This geometric appearance is one reason diamonds sometimes stand out among other rocks. Nature rarely creates such clean crystal forms in ordinary riverstones. But shape alone is not enough, because many minerals can form crystals. Quartz, for example, often grows in beautiful crystal structures, which means we need another clue. And this next sign is something you can sometimes see immediately: the surface texture. Most river rocks become smooth over time. Water moves them, Sand rubs against them. Edges slowly disappear. But rough diamonds often show a different texture. The surface may appear slightly greasy, not wet, not oily, but almost like smooth wax. This unusual texture has surprised many people who find rough diamonds for the first time. When light touches the surface, it does not behave like normal rock. Instead of reflecting brightly, it sometimes looks soft and muted, almost like light passing through frosted glass. This effect comes from the internal structure of the diamond crystal. But even that texture can be difficult to notice if you are not paying attention, which brings us to another important clue. Diamonds are surprisingly heavy. Pick up several stones from a riverbed. Feel their weight. Most rocks of similar size will feel roughly the same, but diamonds are dense. That means a small diamond can feel heavier than other stones of the same size. The difference is not always dramatic, but experienced rock hunters sometimes notice it. A stone that feels slightly heavier than expected can be worth examining more closely. Still, weight alone is not enough, because other minerals can also be dense, and that leads us to another sign that surprises many people. Rough diamonds are not always clear. When people imagine diamonds, they picture perfectly transparent stones, bright and sparkling. But natural rough diamonds often look very different. Some are cloudy, some contain tiny internal marks, some appear milky or slightly gray. Others may even show hints of yellow or brown. These colors come from natural elements trapped inside the crystal while it formed deep underground. In fact, many rough diamonds look far less impressive than people expect, and that is exactly why they are often ignored. Someone might pick up the stone, look at it for a moment, and assume it is nothing special. But there is another clue that can reveal something unusual, something that many rock hunters notice before anything else. And that clue involves how the stone interacts with light. The light test. When sunlight hits most rocks, the light reflects off the surface. But diamonds behave differently. Some rough diamonds allow light to pass into the crystal. Instead of bouncing directly off the surface, the light moves through the stone in unusual ways. This can create a subtle glow, not the brilliant sparkle of a polished gem, but a faint internal brightness. Sometimes the stone appears to trap light inside, almost like a tiny window within the rock. However, this effect can be subtle, and it may not appear clearly unless the stone is clean, which means many diamonds remain unnoticed simply because they are covered in dirt or sediment. But there is another clue that can help narrow your search even further, and it involves the places where diamonds tend to gather naturally. Because not all riverbeds are the same. Some locations are far more likely to hide unusual stones than others. And once you understand where to look, you may start noticing rocks that other people completely overlook. But the next signs become even more interesting. Because one simple test can sometimes separate diamonds from ordinary stones almost instantly. And another clue involves a detail so small that many people miss it entirely, which is exactly where the search becomes even more fascinating. By now, you already know something important. Rough diamonds rarely look like the sparkling gems people imagine. They can appear dull, sometimes cloudy, sometimes just like another strange stone mixed with gravel. That is why many of them are missed. People walk past them every day without realizing it. But if you know the signs, if you slow down and observe carefully, a few small details can suddenly make certain rocks stand out from the rest. And sometimes that difference becomes obvious the moment you pick the stone up. Because the next clue involves something you can notice almost immediately, something that separates diamonds from many ordinary minerals. Diamonds are extremely hard. One of the most famous properties of diamonds is their hardness. In fact, diamonds are the hardest natural material found on Earth. This hardness comes from the strong bonds between carbon atoms inside the crystal. Those bonds form a structure that resists scratching. Most common rocks cannot scratch a diamond, but the opposite is often true. A diamond can scratch many other minerals, However, when searching along trails or rivers, people usually avoid scratching stones they find, because scratching a potential gemstone could damage it. Instead, experienced rock hunters look for indirect clues. For example, rough diamonds often survive river travel better than softer minerals. While other stones become rounded or worn down, diamonds may still keep sharper edges. Their crystal surfaces remain surprisingly intact. This durability can make certain stones look slightly different among smoother river rocks. But hardness alone is not always easy to confirm in the field, which is why another small detail becomes very useful. And this detail is something you can see when light touches the surface of the stone.